What's going on? We are back with more 99 to beat coverage. And today I'm joined by two very special guests. We have James in the house. We have Arvind in the house. How are y'all?
Pretty good. I'm great to be here. It's great to be here with both of you.
I'm excited. I'm ready to hit this. And so I'm going to start from the very beginning. Why 99 to beat? Why did y'all want to do this show?
Well, Arvind, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, sure. So I actually applied for The Floor, which was another Fox show. So like for me, like I love trivia-based things like Jeopardy, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Stuff like that. And I just applied for The Floor because it was on Fox, and I was on a local Fox station for my company, Zaps, and then I was just checking out Fox. And then after I applied for The Floor, I got a call from a wonderful lady, Jocelyn, Katie first and Jocelyn, and who interviewed me for The Floor. And they ran out of space. They had 100 contestants already. And then they said, hey, there's this other show called The Ultimate Games Show. And pretty much they didn't really tell us much about it, but they just said it's called The Ultimate Games. And they said, would you be interested in that because you were going for The Floor? And I said, yeah, sure. So, and then I got in, and then I found out it was 99 to beat. And then, the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same for me. I didn't get interviewed for The Floor. I actually submitted my application for The Floor, but I got a phone call from Jocelyn shortly after I submitted that application saying, hey, we love your style. We'd love to have you on this new game show. Like you said, it was called The Ultimate Game Show. And of course, I'm like, well, what is it? And they're like, well, it's a bunch of different challenges. It's kind of like if you've seen the TV show Squid Games. And I was like the series where people die when they lose events. They're like, yeah, but no dying involved. I'm like, okay. And then they say that, then they send the medical form that I have to take to the doctor's office to get signed. And the medical form has like, you may be exposed to toxic foods and required to eat poisonous and dangerous foods, exposed to extreme and dangerous temperatures and smoke. And my doctor's reading this and going like, I'm not signing this. It's like, no, I talked to them. They said that's just the form for Fear Factor and they were reusing it. But I mean, so I don't know anything about the game. And that's all I know is what they send me in that form. And I'm going, golly, this is going to be very interesting. But yeah, we found out when they sent us the travel itinerary for the flight had 99 to beat at the top. And that's when I finally figured out where I was going to. But until then, it was just that adventure. I don't know anything about this show, but doggone it, I'm going to be on it.
Yeah. And I had 3 doctors actually look through that, and I had to get the third doctor to sign it because the first 2 would not because of that same thing. Toxins on the floor. You might eat things on the floor. So it was quite crazy. And if you haven't met Jocelyn, she's amazing. She's fantastic.
That is wild that you get the Fear Factor form because this is not Fear Factor. There is no comparison here. I don't know if y'all have seen the trailer for it.
Yes.
Oh, I'm all set. There's no way. There's no way.
My wife would kill me if I even thought about applying for it. She'd just be like, no, you are not going there. I'm just absolutely nuts enough to actually take a chance on that. But she would never, she'd kill me. Yeah. I wouldn't need to worry about dying on the show. I'd be worried about dying when I got home.
Right.
My wife had a conniption as it was after the boat game when I went to run back to the front. And I slipped and fell. And, it was just because the floor was wet. I slipped, fell. I got up. I picked myself up, dusted myself off, and ran back to the thing. But my wife, she's like, you didn't tell me you slipped and fell. I was like, I didn't think it was important. But she was like, she didn't like the fact that I slipped and fell. So there you go.
Yeah,
that Fear Factor would not be the game for you. None whatsoever.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, there was a lot of games, and for me, Fear Factor, I probably would not have, done that game. Even this, I mean, when I heard about all the stuff that we were going to do, and the fact that how physical some of these games are, I'm not really good at those kinds of things. It's not my thing. So, yeah, I mean, it was a tough game, but James and I made it pretty far. I thought James was going to win the whole thing, but he finished in number 38, I believe. So,
yep, 38.
Yeah.
Well, of course, you say you're not very athletic, but you did great in those games. I mean, you don't undersell yourself or cut yourself short there. You definitely, I think you could have really gotten pretty far in any of the athletic challenges or anything that requires athletic skills too, because you definitely had the kind of coordination and things that they were looking for.
Yeah, thank you so much, James. Yeah.
Definitely. And every game, as we said, is different. You could be really good at one and just it's not your game. But even James, talking to you, for example, you're going up against Cara Maria in that light challenge and you beat Cara Maria to the spot. So anyone can do it.
Yeah, that was kind of a decent little bragging rights that I got there, beating her to the spot. And I actually you'll hear a lot of slack from some of the people on Cara Marie. I actually liked her. I got along fine with her. And if you watch the show after the thing, we were standing there and they don't show it, but she kind of was like, I think you got here first. And so when they gave me the thumbs up, I went and gave her a hug. And but it was still good bragging rights to be able to say, I know how skilled she is and I know how talented she is and I beat her to it. And so, I'll take that kind of bragging rights any day.
Dude, you beat the challenge GOAT. You beat the person of all time, the best person of all time. So that's a huge bragging right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
She's such a good challenge competitor. And so when I saw her on this cast, I said, oh boy, golly, how is this going to go? Did y'all know who some of the reality stars were when you got there?
No.
Yeah, good.
I was sorry, Arvind, didn't mean to cut you off. I was saying, no, I didn't even realize there were going to be any. I thought everyone was going to just be people like us. And I didn't realize who the people were until actually my first day. And I don't follow the reality shows that well. So my first day I show up and I bump into Danny. And that's when I realized, wait a minute, we have big time competitors on this show. Cause I knew Danny Boatwright and she stood next to me in the circle. And so when I met her for the first time and got to visit with her, I'm like, wow, that's when I started realizing some of the other people that we were going up against in this match.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here with me too. Like I didn't actually know who any of them were except Lindsay from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. And yeah, you probably recognize her too, because, I watched Drake and Josh and Lindsay's show and all those other shows on Nickelodeon when I was younger. So when I was growing up, so that was the only one that I recognized. But then, when we were in the break room and, we were exchanging Instagrams with everybody and, some folks, had like 100,000 followers, 50,000 followers. And then that's when I thought, wait a minute, what the heck? They all have the check mark and wait, these are celebrities. And I didn't realize that when going in, but, we found out later. So it was quite extraordinary. It's just a lifetime experience that both me and James and everybody else had.
Well, you meet so many awesome and incredible people. And speaking on that, other people came in with a pair. We have a family of 12. What did y'all think of that?
Arvind, please.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I mean, I actually got along with them great. They were fantastic. They're absolutely amazing. And the fact, I believe it was Rebecca who got them all on the show. She's a big fan of all these reality shows, Survivor and other things. And, it was fantastic to compete against them. They were all very competitive. Philip, who was one of the competitors, was a grandmaster. He's a grandmaster in Taekwondo. And, all the kids are black belts. And these are very tough competitors. I thought wow, when I got there, I was kind of scared. I was very intimidated because this is, like I said, I'm not into these kinds of physical challenges. And then I'm competing against all these people. And then I find out about Sandra and I find out about Danny. And then, but I mean, these families, I mean, that family, especially they're one tough family but they're amazing people. Everybody was fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I'll throw out particular like Preston and Leandra. I mean, you can't meet two better young people than those true class acts in just about every way imaginable. I mean, just incredible people to interact with. I will say that for my part, I did feel like they had a little bit of an advantage. The people who came with relatives had a little bit of an advantage over us. And I'm not just referring to so I've seen things people online say they had 13 in 100 chance of winning the $1 million, whereas everyone had one. That wasn't necessarily the thing for me, but more, I mean, we were flown out to London and I'm on London on my own. I don't have any friends there. I don't have anybody that I know there. I'm in a hotel room in London, 6 hours flight and 6 hours time zone away from any of family and friends. And so I have no real support group and support network other than the people that I'm competing against I'm going through these games. And I think that for some of the people who had family and friends there, they had someone who could hang around and give them some support and give them encouragement as they went through. And I think that's one of the reasons why you see for some instances when one person in a family went out, the other person in the family went out very shortly afterward. Obviously, Michaela and Marcia are very different in that way because they did not. But some of the others, they tend to go out relatively close to each other. So I think some of the support group that they had going through at that point when they lost it, it was emotionally, taxing for them.
Definitely. It's tough. And I want to touch on y'all's relationship here. How did you two become so close?
Yeah, sure. So I can talk about that. So it was actually during the potato catch, actually. And I think when the rules were being explained, James and I just started talking. We actually have a very similar background. He's into cybersecurity. I started a tech company. So we kind of talked about IT consulting and things like that. And I was also looking at him and I was like, wow, look at this cute guy. He has a mustache and he has the dinosaur shirt. And oh my gosh, he has to be my partner. And and then we partnered for the potato catch, and then we partnered, thereafter for multiple other things. So, but yeah, like James said, I mean, people, you had that support group, but yeah, and then me and him became friends, and then we became friends with virtually everybody else. But we had that strong support group. But yeah, but it started with the potato catch. After we did fantastic on that, we just partnered for other stuff like the disc twerking and other stuff, which you'll probably get into in a little bit later. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like he said, it just kind of was, we were there talking to each other during the rules and just was easy to partner since, again, neither of us had family or friends there. So it's like, hey, you want to be my partner? Sure. Let's go together. And so we kind of took the lead. And the potatoes, again, is kind of a fun one, getting to work together. He kind of made it clear from the very beginning, okay, I've got my goal. I want this within 1 minute at most. And so, we took pride in the fact that we were able to pull that off and get it done within the first minute. And then, he caught me when I don't know if you ever, don't think anyone else really notices, but there's that scene where I celebrate getting a thing and to go to give a high five. And the next thing you notice, he's leaning over me. I went to shake his hand and give him a high five, and I slipped and fell. He caught me because I slipped on a potato peel and I went crashing down to the ground. And was
it the potato peel or was it that camera robot that was going through?
I don't know. I thought it must have been a potato peel that I slipped on. But I mean, it might have been. I knew it was something. But yeah, that was
I caught him,
an experience. But it was great having someone who really kind of, I felt, was a lot like me and shared a number of interests in just being able to communicate with easily and talk to and hang out with, that I could do these challenges with.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you click, it works. And so then you're able to be on the same page. If you're working with someone that you don't have that rapport with, it's really hard to make sure that you're on the same page and that you are going through the motions together, because you have to be really able to communicate for a ton of these, especially the disc challenge. We can go there because we already brought it up. Let's go there. Probably my favorite TV moment of the season thus far, just because it was so good. And, we don't know. You didn't know they were going to add all the music into it and all this when they're doing the editing.
Yeah. Go ahead, James. You can talk about that first.
Oh, well, that one was, I give a lot of credit to Arvind for that. He had a lot of our strategy that got us through. And, he's one who told me to kind of get down on the ground and do the different, basically try and use gravity to get the thing down. But that one was actually kind of embarrassing in some ways for me afterward, because we get up after doing this and take off the belt, and everyone comes running up to us like, oh, you should have heard Ken and Aaron. They were just dying up there. They thought y'all were the most funny thing. Y'all are going to be all over the TV when doing that challenge. And I'm like, oh my gosh, my kids and all of my family are going to see me sitting on the ground there twerking, trying to get that thing going. And so it was kind of funny in that regard, just kind of the thing when you realize after it's done, like everyone in the world is going to have that. And this video is going to be around for me forever, showing me doing that, trying to get that thing. But the other story on that one is on the end of that episode show, when they finally get the thing over, I'm like, the judge comes over and gives a thumb up and you hear me say, thank you, like this. The reason that I say thank you very angrily like that was he was actually the third judge that came over to look at it, because we had gotten the thing over the red line once and I'd called the judge and the judge was like, it's not enough over the red line, and gave me the thumb down. And so we tried to work some more to get it further, and I looked and it was still past the line. So I called the judge over and the judge gives the thumb down. And that was the same judge that gave the thumb down the first 2 times. And so we tried a little bit more, and I was actually worried it was going to start going back the other way. And so out of desperation, I called over a different judge, and that judge looked at it and gave us a thumbs up. And so, I was kind of like, thank you. I felt that we should have been done with it earlier than we were, because I kind of felt that, I didn't agree with getting the thumb down the first time.
Yeah, and that's some of the stuff that you won't see behind the scenes. I mean, I remember even in the purple water bucket, I don't know if you remember, Aviance had the water already up, and then the judge called it, thumbs down or something. That's not enough, and she had to do another bucket. So it's similar to that situation. And me and James were totally exhausted. But with that, I mean, I'm happy we made a viral moment. I'm happy that it went all over TV, and I'm happy that James became the superstar in that one, because that was more James than me, obviously. And yeah, and Gabe came up to me later. I didn't know what Ken and Aaron were saying, because we were focusing on each other. And then Gabe comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, Ken and Aaron were dying up there, man." And that was pretty good. And then with what he said about being on the floor, I did watch. I saw Gabe and I saw Leandra, on the floor there, and I was like, get on the floor. And you guys, you could hear my voice in the background as well. But that was one of the games that was very interesting. But me and James partnered up, and we were able to do it. So I was very happy about that. I was very happy, and we worked very hard on that potato challenge, and then we did this one, and then we were one of the few. I mean, if you look at everybody else, they came with their family. They were all partnered with their their family member. But me and him, we were like 2 friends partnered up, and that's pretty cool. And we didn't even know each other, and now we're best friends. We play chess every day.
Yep.
And yeah, so we still do that. So that twerking is still, it opened a bunch of doors for us.
Well, I don't know that about me being the star in that show. I mean, you look pretty good with those pom-poms there swinging too. You had those pom-poms and that cheerleader routine. I'm just glad they chose, Mr. Boombastic as the song, because Shaggy's always a good person. If you're going to have a song playing about you, it might as well be that one, right?
Yeah. And then we saw Miranda and Danny and Julian, cheering us on in the background, jumping up and, giving you a hug. And that stuff was all covered. And, there was only 43 minutes in the show, but, there was like 10 hours of content. So, but yeah, I mean, but I'm happy that, me and James were covered, but I wish other people were covered too, because they also had great moments too.
Yeah. Right on. Yeah. Y'all absolutely nailed it. It was so good. And it was just iconic that it was both of you. And as you said, 2 friends, 2 buddies. We're not there with any family members, but we found each other and we made it work. And I got to say, a lot of people were rooting really hard for both of you. People that I was talking to, they said, these 2, they have to keep going because they keep providing such great TV content.
Fantastic.
Yeah, but I think it's no coincidence, kind of like I talk about family. I don't think it's a lot of coincidence that I went out not too long after Arvind did. The very first team or pairs event after Arvind was out, I go out, and there's a part of me that does believe that had Arvind still been there, I would not have gone out in that event, then moved on, because that's, like you said, Arvind and I had that good chemistry working together, and nothing against Seth. Seth's a great guy. I love Seth to the moon and back. But I don't think that Seth and I had the same chemistry when we were working together on that team as what Arvind and I had when we were working together on teams. And so I can definitely say I missed him very much when it came to the very next pairs challenge.
Yeah. And I even said it too. I said it too. I mean, I don't know if you remember when Gabe was like, James and Arvind are on the same team, and they cut him off. They did cut him off. He said, this is going to be funny. This is going to be primetime TV, but they cut him off. And I'm like, I think people are underestimating us, and the 2 of us are going to be the last 2 standing, and it could be one of us that wins $1 million. I really thought that. I thought we would surprise the country over that. And yeah, but I mean, I wish I was still there, but we'll get into the dominoes later. But that's one that I was very disappointed that I lost, because that's one that I made a game similar, like, I helped create a game that's similar to like a card game that, uses dominoes. So that's why it was a little bit surprising to me.
It's tough because people go out on the challenges that they think they're definitely going to probably get through, but team challenges we see, it's just the luck of the draw, as we spoke about. If you all don't have that working relationship, because even if we go all the way back to the water bucket challenge, that one in particular, lots of people hadn't met each other yet. So they don't know how that person works, this person works, and then you're all trying to come together, and it's a team of 12, right? It was teams of 12. So that's even more difficult because the number is huge.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. And during that water bucket, I mean, that was a tough one, obviously. We had 12 people that we all really loved that went home very early, and we built friendships very early. I mean, we all explored London that first day, and and then the next day, like, they're on a plane going home. And I really hope those people also get on another show very soon, like Survivor or something else, because they really deserve it. And they didn't have an opportunity to play much. Me and James did, but they didn't. And yeah, like you said, I mean, it's just luck of the draw. I mean, those team games is totally luck of the draw. It's totally based on teammates. It's also based on just who's faster. Everybody is like, these games seem easy, but it's $1 million, so everybody's trying their hardest. Everybody's like going all in, and a lot of these folks, when I met them, they all need this money too. So that motivates them too. And it's one of those tough moments for sure.
Yeah, I think more than anything, the biggest crime in the show was the bucket game in which 12 people went out, because really that the show, the filming took place over longer periods of time than what it really shows. And we had a day, like Arvind said, a day that a lot of people were hanging around and visiting London with each other. And after some of the airings, they'd go out. And it wasn't until really close to day 3 that they finished the filming of the first episode, just because they're with 100 people was much harder to go through. So at that point, these people who went out the bucket challenge, that was at the end of day 1, we'd been with them for 3 days, and they were a big part of our show and our team. And some of them got almost no video time. I mean, one of the ones I've mentioned before is there was a gentleman named Brady, and he was an incredible person, an incredible character. He wore this really neat outfit that was just so cool. And you really never got to see him or know him because he was gone at the end of the first episode. They didn't show many clips of him. There wasn't much filming of him. And there were a number of people in that bucket challenge. And, if I was looking at it right now, I'd be able to name their names, and I'd be able to give you backstories about them, because we hung out for days, and then suddenly they were gone. Yoshi, he went on the bucket challenge. I think the bucket challenge, didn't he?
Yeah.
Another person that was just an incredible person. He was a big part of the show for us. And for us, those people who went out on the bucket challenge, they were a huge part of the show because we were with them for 3 days. For people watching the show, they're out at the end of the first episode and you don't get to know anything about them. And to me, that was so sad, because they're wonderful people that America really should have gotten the chance to get to know and get to love as much as we loved them. And so, I kind of missed that for many of their sakes.
Yeah. And I was happy with my coverage, but at the same time, I would have sacrificed some of my coverage for some of those folks, or even people like Jordan. I mean, he was in 4 episodes. He wasn't shown at all. Or Luigi. He was in 6 or 7 episodes and wasn't shown at all. And I'm like, what's going on here? So, and this is tough. For 43 minutes. I wish, when we saw the first episode too, we all thought it should have been longer, similar to the Bachelor, maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So I wish a lot of people saw more content. But of course, this is the first season. This is obviously a beta test, and hopefully the second season will be much better. And maybe you might see me and James back on the second season, or even you, Lauren. We could be against you.
We'll see. But yeah, when it comes down to the editing, it's always difficult because, as you said, they could show one storyline, but if they didn't show somebody else, their storyline could have been awesome too, but we just don't get that as viewers. And everyone there has some type of story. It's just what they decide to highlight, because the episodes are so condensed into 43 minutes. If the episodes are way longer, we would get everybody. I will say, I think they did their absolute best when it came to some of the episodes where we got the highlight almost right away. So for instance, Janice. We got to see Janice right away. We got to hear from her, and then we saw it play out with her elimination. But they couldn't do it for everybody just because of how many eliminations kept occurring each and every episode.
Yep, for sure.
Absolutely. No, that's definitely true. And, and the staff, me and James love the staff. With the referees and everything, like, it is obviously, we're all human. We make mistakes, but at the same time, we all love them. And we like when there's over 100 people and you have to feed us and all this other stuff. There's a lot, and it was kind of understaffed, and a lot of those staff were contractors as well. So they just do this show and then they move on to like a Netflix show or an Apple TV show, and then they don't work for Fox or any of the like Bungie or the studio or anything. They're just contractors. So they worked extremely hard, and but we really appreciate all the work they've done.
Yeah, and they were so supportive. I mean, it's incredible. For example, I'll give you the balloon game. The balloon game, the air conditioner had to be turned off in that game because the air conditioner kept blowing the balloons off. And so that's why if you watch that game, everyone is sweating. We were in there, I think they showed the time at one point, for well over an hour in that little room with all those people with no air conditioning. And the staff was there, and they were bringing water to some of the people who were getting thirsty. And if you were getting light, they were coming and checking on you and making sure that you were doing okay. And they really were super attentive to try and make sure they were taking care of and supporting the contestants in the show. And another person I'll give a call out to referees. Our favorite referee who we wish would get shown in the show a little bit more was Emily. So Emily was a referee who came out and read the rules to us every day. Yeah. And bless her, because she needed it, because every time she'd read the rules, she'd ask for questions at the end. And especially early on, some of the people were asking the most off the wall, bizarre questions. And I think one of the main producers had to come in several times and cut us off. Okay, enough questions. One question left, and then no more. These are simple games, people. But everyone trying to find ways to work around them or little tricks that they could use. They're to be asking all these questions. And poor Emily is up there trying to have to answer all these just off-the-wall questions that people were throwing at her. And she was such a good sport about it. And so, it's I know a lot of us wish, man, Emily needs to get some TV time because she was a part of our group too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I mean, she was fantastic, and so are the other refs. But yeah, Emily was fantastic. And every time we would stop, sometimes we would have to stop some of these games in the middle because there was maybe this person, something happened, or there was a medical emergency or something, and she would yell, stop, and So we would have to stop multiple times in some of these games. I don't know if you remember the T-shirt challenge and other challenges that we had to stop, but that wasn't shown. But even the domino challenge, I mean, the one that we were in, we had to stop. But she was fantastic. She was absolutely fantastic, and she always read the rules. And people asked questions. People wanted to also make sure, to be fair to the people, though, the people, I never asked questions, but I listened. I know why people were asking multiple times questions, because it's $1 million. It's like, you have to understand this, and you have to make sure that you're not breaking the rules, you're following the rules. So people were asking questions, and maybe, the time just dragged on a little bit, but maybe there's more time for people to maybe comprehend that, and the folks that couldn't. So that was always important as well, especially for those who were behind in that. Yeah.
Right. And you have people that are also trying to think outside of the box when it comes to these various challenges, because you could have a strategy going in and someone's not thinking of that strategy. But I always say, maybe don't ask the question and ask for forgiveness later, because if they don't explicitly say it in the rules, I say go for it, and all they can do is tell you, no, you can't do this, because otherwise everyone is getting your strategy then.
Yes. And that was a big concern, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah, and in that case, I was very, very careful, not to bend any kind of rules. Very careful, because I that's just it's kind of I just wanted to show integrity, but also at the same time, we're on national TV. You never want to be caught cheating
right
on national TV. That could be a big thing. And then the worst thing that could happen is you're disqualified, and that could be aired. Right. So I wanted to make sure, even the ice game, that's one of the reasons I was so slow. It's I wanted to make sure, but I saw folks in front of me banging it with their shoe. And then I saw a ref come up and say, don't do that. That's all it said. Just don't do that. So like you said, there are people that took those risks. But at the same time, I just wanted to just play it the way just the way it was supposed to be. So all the games. Play it safe.
Yeah. Play it safe. Well, let's talk about some of these games. So Aside, obviously, from your elimination, which games were y'all saying absolutely not? I know we'll probably hit the music challenge with this because that has been everyone that I've had on says no to the music, never want to experience, never want to go through that ever again.
Well, I actually love the music challenge because I got the bongos, which is
Oh,
very
yes, of course you're going to love it, but every other instrument.
yeah. And like, I mean, mine was pitch black, totally blindfolded. But when I got the bongos, I was so happy. And I talked to Danny as well, Danny Boatwright. She said she was so happy too. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, I love the bongos. But yeah, go ahead, James. You can answer that question first.
Oh, well, the ukulele was a nightmare for me having that, because the ukulele had those little plastic toy strings like you have on a music instrument. So the plastic toy strings, if you ever played a children's guitar or something like that, those plastic toy strings don't make noise. So we're sitting there trying to strum those plastic strings, and they're making almost no noise. And even if it was real strings, you wouldn't be able to hear a ukulele over bongos and flutes and all these other noises. And so really for the most part, I only found another person because I bumped into one. I was walking along and I bumped into someone. And when I bumped into them, I was like, wait a minute, that feels like a ukulele. And I'm like, grab the person with that. I'm not letting go. I have at least one person and I found them.
Who is that person? Who is that person?
I don't know who it was. It was someone big, so it might have been Ron. Because I know it was I remember when I bumped into, of course, I'm not a tall person, just like you are, Arvind. Neither of us are tall. So there's a pretty wide variety of people that it could be when I say I bumped into someone big, because just about everyone's bigger than me. But I mean, I think it might have been Ron. They were notably larger than I was. And I think the other issue I had with that one was I actually was very worried. The team came very close to losing because of me. And so what happened is I went to pull out lift up my music stand, and I yanked to pull it up, and I pulled it in half. And I'm sitting here with half of music stands going, oh my, and I'm trying to get them back together. And while I'm trying to get them back together, the other team finally found their other people and go running over. And the only reason we were able to get it together in time was because Ron actually ran over and fixed my music stand while they were out looking for their missing instrument. And if Ron hadn't gotten back and helped me fix my music stand, I don't know what I would have done, because I went, like I said, I went to pull it out and it just came apart, and I was like trying to I can't get this thing to work. And so that was one where, if you lose in a team game, you don't want it to be because of you.
Exactly.
And that one was one where it was very close to losing a team game because of me. And so that was a real nightmare for me.
That was prevented.
Yes, that was prevented.
But and I like, yeah, James. I mean, and you watched the episode 2. I mean, James's team nearly lost.
Yes,
it was like a fraction of a second, and he could have lost, and maybe I would have lost right after, right? Like the emotional thing. Oh man, James is not there. Who's my friend now? So I would have probably lost right after. So I'm happy he didn't. But I'm also disappointed by all the people that lost. I love, Sarah and Cole and Lindsay and Lizzie and all of them. They're all amazing people, fantastic people in every way.
I had Cole on, and Cole is great.
Oh, yeah, Cole's great.
Yeah, Cole gave a lot of, because I needed to know, was it actually that close? Because sometimes on TV they show it and they make it seem as though it's close and it's not. But then we got the clarification. No, it was that close for that challenge.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it was super close. And Cole does air guitar. He's a champion, and he's a music king. So I was, and that's sometimes, sometimes these ironies happen, right? Like even me, the dominoes, so like I'm into puzzles, I'm into games, I'm into board games, all that stuff. So it's kind of ironic in some ways, but that music challenge, I loved it. My team absolutely loved it. All 9 of us loved it. We got lucky, but and maybe it wasn't fair. And in all honesty, right? We have bongos. Like, it's a very distinct sound.
Yes.
Very distinct sound. So.
Probably the one that I came just as close to going out on that I probably hated even more than the music was the hammering nails and to the hanging up the picture. Because my hand is, small. I'm not big. The glove basically went all the way through to here. So I had no hope of moving a glove that's this big with a hand that's this big. So I couldn't hold the nail. I couldn't do anything. I had no grip, and I was trying everything I could to figure out how to nail that thing. And in some ways I was saved by Miranda, who was yelling at me from the side, use your mouth. And so I eventually caught into what she was saying and figured out that what she was trying to tell me. And I got a little help from Jared, who finished before me too. And I was like, Jared, what the heck's she saying? I don't get it. What am I supposed to hold the nail in my mouth or what? And he's like, look at the thing that you're putting the nail into. And so I looked at the thing that I was putting the nail into and realized it was made out of cork. And that's when it kind of buzzed in my head. Miranda's telling me to use my mouth because I can push a nail into cork using my mouth. Cork is just not that strong. And so I was able to push the nail into the cork. But I don't know how long it would have taken me to try and get that nail in otherwise, because I had just no other way of being able to hold that nail. And so to me, that one was a nightmare, just because trying to figure out some way to hold that nail or to fix that nail in place so that I could get the nail hammered in.
Yeah. I mean, that's one game that I didn't have an opportunity to play, but I wish I did. But it looked fun. It looked fun for sure. It looked fun, but it also looked dangerous. I mean, you could have hurt your mouth with that hammer, man. All of you, I saw that. I mean, I saw that on TV. Yeah.
It was a unique one for sure. I did enjoy that they had it in there, but I said, by golly, some people are going to injure their teeth doing this.
Yeah.
Did anybody injure their teeth?
Not that I know of, but that doesn't mean there wasn't someone who didn't say anything or didn't mention it. I mean, the biggest injury, of course, in the show, the biggest injury was Carlene, and they don't really talk about it.
Yeah.
But there's the one where I think it was a team event where she was running back and slipped. And you see them making a comment about it at some point. She actually ripped her Achilles tendon completely off the bone. And so the rest of the show, she was playing with that torn Achilles tendon and going through it like that. And to me, the heroism and courage that she showed playing through that kind of an injury, and including ones that involved you spending a lot of time on your feet, like the boat challenge and things like that, where you're walking and she was so incredible to play through that and keep going and compete the way she did. And I can't say enough about her overcoming and braving the injury that she did to compete as long as she did on the show.
Absolutely. 100%. I 100% agree. Yeah.
That's a brutal injury to be standing on and competing. That's tough. That's a tough one. You see certain injuries where, we can work through this, but that one, oh my goodness, we didn't know about that. Yeah, we don't see that.
Yeah.
No.
And she could win. I mean, she's still in there. I mean,
I have no clue how far she got. She made it to the end. The only thing I know is that she was there when I left, and she's still going now after this episode. So to just comment on how she did that, I mean, the spinning around with the rope was exhausting, and she was doing that, thinking about the ankle she was doing that in and the condition. I mean, the things that she did and went through in that condition is just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of the more favorite type of challenges that y'all competed in. James, why don't you start us off?
Oh, well, I loved the balloon game with the cups. And I know I didn't do great in that, which I was especially humiliated because David Rush was right next to me trying to set a speed record by going back and forth as fast as he could. But I thought it was so much fun just blowing up those balloons and carrying the cups over and putting them down. To me, that was one of my favorites that I got to be involved in. I certainly would love to do that one again as just for fun with family or something like that. So that was a big one for me. How about you, Arvind?
So for me, I like the nut stackers. I know a lot of people didn't like that, but I love the nut stackers. I mean, I love the nut stackers. I love the nail balancing. I also love the other balloon one where we were slingshotting it. And the main reason I love that one is because I had a lot of people behind me, including James, a lot of people behind me cheering me on. And, that just shows you how close we all are as friends. So I absolutely loved all three of those because, I don't know. Those are just my things. I just love those. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. The balloon one's tough, though, because with the rubber bands, your fingers have to just be so burning and in pain from that because, we even see poor Jackie there. Oh, my goodness. That was so hard to watch.
Yeah. And
Well, and it was made harder because you had a group of rubber bands that just didn't do anything. You had two collections of rubber bands, some that were blue and some that were clear. And the clear ones really didn't do anything. I actually hit the balloon several times with the clear ones, and the clear ones actually bounced off the balloon. I had one that I hit the balloon with the clear rubber band, and the balloon bounced up, the rubber band bounced upward and landed on top of the balloon. And I had a rubber band sitting on top of the balloon the rest of the time that I was shooting at it to knock it down. So, I mean, then that was about half your bucket. And so you had these completely useless rubber bands that did nothing. And then you had the blue ones that actually would knock them over. And it was that made a real challenge to try and make sure you're doing the right shots with the right rubber bands.
Yeah, same here. I ran out of, it took me a long time to get that, but, I ran out of blue rubber bands. I asked for more blue rubber bands, and I got the blue rubber bands. So, I totally agree with James. Sometimes you got to figure that out. It's just strategy. You kind of notice one works and one doesn't work, and you just got to keep going through and just, not finish last. It's one of the big things. But, yeah, it was very sad to see Jackie go because, we all love her. We absolutely love her.
For sure.
And, and see Aggie also come back. Second time, after the Nutstackers and then this, that was quite resilient. And I absolutely loved the TV moment that made as well.
Definitely. And that's such a long day for Aggie too, because if you're in the bottom for one and then you're in the bottom again, just because these challenges, they go on some of them for a very long time. So people that get through quickly, they get a little bit of time to reset the mind, get ready for the next one. But if you go from bottom, then have to jump in again, it's really difficult to keep holding strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know how that feels because, I was almost number 99 in the ice, the whistle and the ice. It took me a long time to get that out. And, after that event, I said, you know what, I can't lose again. But then the frozen pants happened. And then that one was very hard. That was another one, me and James, were shown quite a bit in that one. And, that one took a while. That one took a long time, and James beat me. And James beat me even though he had a pair of frozen pants, and then somebody complained saying that his pants were not frozen enough, and then they gave him a new pair of pants that were more frozen. So James beat me even with more frozen pants, I guess you could say. So that was quite extraordinary there.
Yeah, and that one was one. It's kind of funny because I was standing next to Michelle when that happened, and she's like, "Man, if someone did that to me, I'd be ticked." And my response was, "If that's what they feel it needs to be for it to be fair, just let it be." But it was one of those ones that's kind of like you really need to worry about me. Why don't you focus on your own game here a little bit?
Yeah.
Right. And we even see that too. I know people were saying with the ice block and the whistle.
Yes.
That whistle is closer to the top. That whistle is closer to the side. And you have to remember too, when you go out for a show such as this, they cannot make those particular ones completely equal, and you have to just go in and be okay with it. It's going to be as close as possible, but it's not going to be 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's part of it. That's probably part of the understaffing as well. That's part of other things as well. That this is the first season. This is the beta testing, the first season. So we just have to deal with what we have. And, but yeah, my whistle was smack in the middle. I know I heard from other people as well that the whistle was kind of on the top and other things. So, and it's not just that. You had problems in the T-shirt challenge. I think I heard it on your show or somebody else's show talking about, some people would take the T-shirt and flip it over.
Yep.
Or, to hide it, I guess you could say, to make sure that person doesn't find their shirt. So, or flip it up, facing you with the name facing up so that, if it's someone that, you want to keep in the game. But these are just, I call them conspiracy theories. We all play the game. We all love each other, all 100 people, at least, me and James do. So, it's a game. It's a game, and it is a lot of money. It's $1 million. But at the end of the day, we all had a 1% chance of winning. And I wish it was me. James wish it was him. But at the end of the day, what I take from this more is just the friendships we've all built. and the lifelong friendships we've all built, and the opportunity to even go on a show like this and represent the whole nation or talk to the nation and things like that. It's quite fantastic. We absolutely love it.
For sure. And, like Arvind said, it's not us winning, but I can tell you truthfully, anyone who wins it, I will be so happy for them. I mean, again, we know all these people. These are people we spent time hanging out with. We know their stories. We know their backgrounds. All of them are so deserving to get that money. And whichever one wins, I can tell you that those of us who are on the show will be sending all sorts of messages congratulating them and be super, super excited to see them win, because they're all just incredible people.
Absolutely. 100%. Couldn't agree more.
And as you said, you go in, you have a 1% chance to take home the grand prize. But I've heard from everybody, the friendships, the relationships have been the most meaningful part for people leaving the game. Because if you compare this game to others, you don't have the closeness that your cast does. Everyone seems pretty good with each other, and y'all all talk, and it's fantastic to see. Because I'll tell you this, other reality TV shows, you maybe get a couple folks sprinkled in here and there, but not an overwhelmingly large cast that everyone comes out saying these people are amazing.
Yeah, and this is also like the most diverse group that we've ever met. Like, you can talk about race, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, literally everybody, every single career, every single background, every single, you have firefighters, you have an IT, cybersecurity person, you have a professor, you have various people from every walk of life and every single career. And it's like, we're never going to get this opportunity for a long time, because usually when I go in a classroom, I can meet a bunch of supply chain people, or if I go to the fire station, I can meet a bunch of firefighters. But you're never going to have that in a group like this, in a circle. And the fact that we built these lifelong relationships and we all learn from each other, talk to each other, it's just an absolutely wonderful thing. And we're both blessed to be a part of it. And also with Ken Jeong as well. He's been collaborating with us on our posts. I mean, that's such a nice thing for him to do. He is a celebrity who's super busy with his life, and he's collaborating with us. It's wow, that's fantastic. I don't know any other host that has ever done that for any show, any reality show. And a lot of reality shows. I mean, I don't know. I've never heard of that. So it's quite a nice, very nice thing that he's doing for us.
I'll say in some ways that was the most painful part of getting eliminated. It wasn't losing out on the $1 million, but when people got eliminated, I mean, these are people that you've been rooting for, and you've been practically going through this war with them in these stressful situations, and they've been cheering for you, and you've been cheering for them, and you've been giving each other hugs when congratulations, and you've been going through all this together, and you built these friendships. And then when you're eliminated, they're going on without you, and your friends have to push along. And it's like, as a soldier, I can relate to it being when you're called back from an overseas deployment or something like that, and the rest of your platoon is staying there. They're having to go on, and your friends are having to go on, and they're having to go on without you. And to me, that was really the most painful thing about leaving. And I don't have a lot of money to travel. And I know that while I keep in touch with people through chat apps and through communication apps and things like that, the fact is that I have made a lot of wonderful friends that I know I will probably never get to see them again. I'll never get to give them another hug. I'll never get to, shake their hand. And there is something to me that was, I think, for when leaving the show, that was very painful about that. And that still is a pain that I don't know is ever going to fully go away. It's just that longing to be with those friends and hang out with those people that one more time and get to spend that time with them one last time, because there is that friendship that has gone on, and now it's a long distance relationship that it kind of hurts sometimes just not having that ability to see them and be there around them and cheer for them and support them.
And James, we're all coming to Houston to come see you.
Something tells me that's probably not the case.
We will all come to Houston to come see you. I mean, we will all do that. I mean, and the fact is that a lot of us, we haven't even met in the U.S. Can you believe that? We all met in Europe. And we haven't even met in the U.S. and we're all U.S. citizens. How amazing is that? But yeah, I agree with James. You're on a flight, you're sent home, and then it's goodbye. And then we have WhatsApp and stuff, we keep in touch, but it's not the same. And even FaceTime and other things, we can FaceTime with people, but it's it's not the same, as meeting in person. So it's, giving those hugs and that physical contact. So, I mean, I totally agree with James, because literally the moment you're eliminated, one of the staff members went up to the hotel staff and said, these are the people eliminated today. And then they say, okay, your room is done. And then you go home. They get your flight, and maybe you can stay one extra day for an interview, but literally you're gone in 1 or 2 days. So, yeah.
And that makes it so hard too, because it's just done just like that without even, some shows they keep you out there a little bit longer, but other shows I've heard, especially the ones that have huge cast members, they just put you on a plane the next day typically.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever got much close. I would say I think someone asked me about this. How did it feel watching myself on TV when I was eliminated? And I actually said, it actually brought me a certain amount of closure, because you do leave so fast that there's a lot of stuff that's just kind of hanging in there. It's like, a fast breakup in some ways. You've got a lot of stuff that was there that, you haven't had a chance to come to grips with when you leave. And so watching myself get eliminated actually brought a certain degree of closure that I didn't get in the months between the time that it was filmed and the months that it was showing on TV.
Yeah, for sure.
It sort of wraps up your chapter, and then you can just see it all play out and how it all unfolded, because you're there, you live in the moment, but you don't know how it's going to be shown or portrayed on the television screen.
Yes.
Yeah. And for me, in my case, I got out on a team challenge. We were kind of shocked that we lost, honestly. We were very shocked. And if you look, I don't know, maybe it's a conspiracy, but I don't know, maybe there's something true to it. But if you look, we were in Team Purple, and then the water bucket was Team Purple. And then if you look in the British version, the domino team that lost was Team Purple.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know, purple is a very unlucky color.
Purple is an unlucky color. Watch it. The frame around us in this podcast is purple right now. So we should.
There you go.
But I don't know. Purple, I don't know. Maybe it is an unlucky color. But, me and James were on a team together in bowling, and we finished pretty quickly, and we were blue. And we finished very fast. And James also on the domino challenge, he was very quick on that. Him and Jared and that group. And they only had 6 people, I think. They only had 6 people because Jay Blake had to drop out. And, so, he was pretty quick on that. And, and I'm happy.
We were very precise on that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we actually said in our interview beforehand that what we were going to do is we were going to take our time to focus less on trying to get the dominoes done quickly and more on going as precisely as we could, making sure every domino was fit perfectly in place. And so it took us a couple of tries to knock down our dominoes, but we actually we did a lot less tries than other people did to get it right, just because we were so focused on making sure everyone was correct. You can actually see during one of the clips, you see Mario walking down the row at one point. During the video, you can see him walking down, and he was carefully going down and inspecting the location of every single domino to make sure the distances were exactly what we wanted and everything was placed perfectly. Because that was our strategy, is like, we're not going to be the fastest to get the dominoes down, but we want to make sure that we have everything perfect so that when we do hit them, they'll go.
What do you mean by Mario? Mario wasn't on your team, right?
Oh, sorry, Mario. Anyway, my brain's trying to piece together all the things, but our team, what?
Jared?
No, Jared wasn't the person who inspected. Jared was on our team. He was the person who knocked him down. But there was one of the other team members that went down and looked at every single domino and made sure.
Because I was going to make a joke on that. Because if it was Mario infected all of them, and then Robert grabbed all of them, and then.
Oh, geez.
He got 5 million views on one of the Instagram videos, which is he created.
That was so good. Oh, it was so good.
It was funny.
Just because I think I see both perspectives of it, honestly. Your mindset goes, I need to grab it, and then the fact that your total team is yelling at you, and then you still grab the rest at the end. It was so good.
Yeah, and also with him, to be fair to him, that's what I said before, right? You never want to cheat on TV or even in general. So he thought that if you dropped one, you had to start all over. That's why he did that, and he mentioned that a couple times in his podcast and other things. So, but that's part of it. And sometimes you just want to make sure that you follow all the rules. And in our case as well, like, I mean, I loved our team. I loved, Gabe, Richie, Courtney, Robbie, Jordan, and we all worked great together. And we put them one by one, and then I said it before. I mean, I saw on TV who got it all. I mean, you saw Storm, you saw Ciara, you saw all the girls get it, and I think we should have probably utilized Courtney to push that, and she would have probably gotten it. Um, and we tried it multiple times. I never hit it, but we had Gabe hit it, we had Jordan hit it, we had Robbie hit it, and I thought Robbie would be good because he has a lot of muscle. Just boom, just get it. But and there was just something wrong with our, either a positioning or something else, and we just had to try multiple times. And we were rushing too. We were all rushing because like we said before, it was $1 million, and James's team beat us to it. Jared did a great job there, and everybody else did a great job. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those unfortunate things. But I'm really happy with my run. Like, that's all I can say. I mean, obviously, I'm disappointed, but you just got to look at life positively. I look at it like, hey, I could have been number 99. And Tammy's my best friend, one of my best friends from the show. I love her. I got to know her in the Kansas City premiere party a lot. And she was also part of my childhood. I didn't realize because she was involved in the supply chain of manufacturing Pokemon cards when I was a child. So that was great to know. And I love her. And then, I see like multiple best friends go up against each other. You saw the piggy bank challenge. You saw Danny and Julian. They're like best friends. You saw other people like that are best friends, Ronald and Robert, go up against each other. And they have their own podcast. They're best friends too. And they're in the House of Cards. They were up against each other. So me and Tammy, you had multiple people go up against each other. And yeah, obviously I'm disappointed about the dominoes, but at the same time, I'm very blessed.
Absolutely. Y'all got a ton out of the experience, and we got to see both of you featured heavily on the show. So with that, is there anything else y'all want to mention before we wrap this up?
Go ahead, James.
Well, I think Arvind had wanted to mention this, but he actually had a birthday just a little while back. And so I wanted to give a call out to Arvind to wish him a happy birthday for that. And so happy birthday, Arvind.
No, I appreciate that. Actually, one of our good friends, Chris, it's his birthday, November 15th. November 15th, yep. Chris. I wish happy birthday to Chris. And, and we have a lot of, and that's part of the show. Like the show. I mean, like we keep in touch. We all love each other. We're all friends. And it's just, it's just fantastic to get to know everybody. I mean, especially this diverse of a group with all these different backgrounds. And I'm so happy I met James and so many other people. And this was an amazing show. At first I was like, I really wanted to go on the floor. What is this show? And then I show up and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I'm meeting great people. Everybody's amazing. And it's like, I love being part of this. I want to do more TV. And it's like, wow, like I just absolutely love this. So, yeah. So, I mean, and I want to just give advice to people and it's to folks that are like just watching. Like if they want to be on a show, they should definitely apply. They should keep applying. And like you'll get on a show and like you should just follow casting producers on Instagram. Make sure you have your Instagram activated and follow a bunch of casting producers and just, yeah, keep applying because like follow your dreams. They'll come true. Yeah.
James, you have anything else you want to add?
I want to make sure to say happy birthday to Chris too. He was actually the very first person who ever cheered me on in an event during the ice game. He ran up to me while I was trying to use your head, and was trying to encourage me and help me along. And that actually meant a lot to me in the show to have that first person cheering for me. But, I want to say from my perspective, one of the best things you can do in a show like this is to take from it is just how the friendships we developed were developed because we wanted to be friends with each other and we were nice to each other and we cared for each other. And it's incredible when you care for other people and you show them that you care about them. It doesn't matter the race. It doesn't matter the religion. It doesn't matter the political views. It doesn't matter the interests, anything like that. When you show other people you care about them, that is what makes a difference in someone's life. And that's the reason why, like you said, the game show, so many people are close, is because we let each other know that we genuinely cared, and we took the time to genuinely care for each other. And all the other differences that normally set people apart melted away when you have that ability to care about another person. And I would say that I hope people will learn that and take that from the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we were all competitors, but at the end of the day, I mean, after filming was over, when we were all at the hotel, this was a very rural part of London as well. We weren't in the city, so like we were kind of farther away from all the restaurants and other things. So like, who do you have? You don't have your wife, your kids, or anybody else. You have only these cast of 100 people, and then they slowly get eliminated, and then you have 50 people, 60 people, and then keep going on and on from there. So you have to stay friends. You have to stay friends, or you can go into your hotel room and close your door. But you have to be friends with everybody. So I mean, competitors can be friends. Absolutely.
Definitely couldn't have said it better myself, y'all. But James, Arvind, such a pleasure having you come on this podcast. We got so many behind the scenes information, the intel, and I'm just glad y'all both got to share your story as well.
Thank you so much for having us on. It was a real blessing.
Thank you so much, Lauren. I really appreciate it. We love you.
Absolutely. And with that, everyone else, be sure to check out everything we have going on the Reality After Show. Oh boy, am I covering everything in Squid Game, The Challenge Season 2. More recaps, more interviews coming your way. We have the football podcast. We have Survivor coverage. And yeah, with that, everyone, have a good one. Take care.
Thank you.